Proposals from the Conservatives. It would mean 100,000 pupils taking a new test in English and maths during their first year in secondary school. The test would be set nationally but be marked by teachers, with results published as part of school league tables. Well, I'm joined now by the Shadow Education Secretary, Tristram Hunt, who's in Westminster this morning. And a very good morning to you as well. You've said this morning that this is an attempt by the Conservatives to overshadow their failures on school standards. But isn't it right that children who don't reach those standards by the end of primary school should be given another chance to achieve them?
Well, this is indeed a startling admission of failure by the government, that after 5 years we've still got 1.6 million children educated in schools which are not good enough, and worse, we have 400,000 children taught by unqualified teachers. Save the Children is very clear that if you want to get children literate, if you want to get them to love reading, if you want them to be proficient readers, if you want them to understand mathematics, you have to do it in the early years. You have to make sure you've got quality teaching at primary level, and that's what makes the difference when it comes to young people being able to open up these subjects.
But what would you do at the end of primary school? Would you not give children who hadn't achieved those standards in English and maths another opportunity to reach those targets?
Well, we already obviously have SATs at the end of primary, but what we know what matters is the quality of teaching. So we don't think yet another examination in the English education system is necessarily the right way forward. What we think is the way forward is to get great quality teachers in front of underperforming kids. We also think that if you invest in the early years, that's what makes the difference for children to be able to understand their literacy and their numeracy. We've got to move away from this relentless focus on examination upon examination. The English education system does not lack for a small number of examinations. What it does lack is great quality teaching all across the country, and that's what we need to work on.
I want to ask you a question about the big policy announcement from Labour today on non-doms. Is Labour abolishing the tax status of non-domiciles, or is it just tinkering around the edges, as the Conservatives are suggesting?
No, this is a radical reform that shows very strong leadership by Ed Miliband. Just as Tony Blair said Ed was a strong leader on Europe, today he's showing strong leadership on fairness in the taxation system. This is about making sure that wealthy people pay their fair share when it comes to supporting public services like teachers in our schools so we can get a great education, like our National Health Service, which terrifyingly reveals absolutely horrendous A&E figures today because of the lack of investment by the Conservatives. So this is about one nation politics, everyone paying their fair share and getting rid of some of the inequity in the system, which sees very rich people not paying their fair share. This is about attracting talent to UK PLC and asking them to make their contribution.
OK, Shadow Education Secretary Tristram Hunt, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, joining me now to discuss the morning so far, my guests Helen Lewis from The New Statesman and David